Sohorim Tovim, good afternoon. I'm Jane Horowitz, President of Beth David Reform Congregation. On this second day of Yom Kippur, I'm truly honored to stand before you for the second year. Whether gathered in this sanctuary or joining on live stream, we seek forgiveness, connect with our deepest selves, and strengthen the bonds with each other. This year, as every year, our synagogue has been a place of prayer, learning, and compassion. We have celebrated life's joys together and comforted one another in times of loss. Each one of you has a vital role to play in this community. I'd first like to acknowledge the effort of the clergy, staff, and volunteers whose work makes our activities throughout the year possible, but especially during the Fall High holiday cycle. To all the musicians, service participants, ushers, childcare providers, activity leaders, security guards, and police, and finally, the team which spent hours recruiting, assigning, reassigning, and orienting over 70 individuals you've seen or will see today on the Bima, my thanks. Today we find ourselves in our society writ large being challenged on so many fronts. By turning to Jewish beliefs and practices, we can respond in ways that make us stronger. Synagogues serve as reservoirs for these resources. Belonging means being connected, having a spiritual home, contributing one's gifts, and drawing strength, comfort, and meaning from each other. Being a part of a synagogue community not only gives us strength today, but builds a foundation for future generations. But why Beth David Reform Congregation in particular? This summer, before we became immersed in sermon and speech writing, I collaborated with Rabbi Kalish and members of the board's executive committee on drafting a values proposition for Beth David. We addressed these questions. How do we see ourselves as a synagogue? What do we strive to be? What distinguishes us from comparable congregations in our area? Imagine how you would answer these questions, but for the sake of time, I'll help you by sharing some illustrations from the past year. First, finding one's place in a new environment can be especially challenging when life circumstances change. Soon after joining Beth David, one of our members experienced the loss of their spouse. As a couple, they had taken initiative early by joining the Wise Aging Shema group, one of several small cohorts which meet monthly around shared interests. Being part of this group provided this congregant with companionship during a difficult time, helping them feel seen and supported. Second, big changes take patience and perseverance, and Beth David has exhibited these traits in abundance. This is more of a saga than a story. I am not the first president to stand on this bima on Yom Kippur and proclaim, "The preschool is coming, the preschool is coming." I wish I could tell you that we're good to go, but ongoing resistance from our neighboring parish is still being legally resolved. But here's the counterpoint. We've taken the leap of bringing on our future preschool director part-time so planning can progress, and in August, held from all perspectives a highly successful summer camp program. Many of the families whose children were enrolled were not already Beth David members, which bodes well for our plans to open the Harmony School at Beth David in the foreseeable future. Third, the values we hold as individuals and the actions we'd like to take can be enhanced by situating them in a Jewish context. It's no secret that what motivated me to take on this role of synagogue president is a deep concern about climate change. I have a green agenda. The Torah teaches us to be Shomrei Adamah, guardians of the earth, a moral calling to protect and preserve creation. Despite numerous setbacks resulting from unfavorable environmental policies, and I wrote that clause very carefully, I have been buoyed by the dedication of our climate action crew, a committed group of congregants who have taken real action, such as planting and caring for our new native tree and shrub landscapes, organizing a community composting initiative which will launch later this fall, and advocating for the installation of solar panels, all moving us forward on our path to a more sustainable future. Fourth, cultivating an inclusive synagogue culture that values diverse perspectives and backgrounds can be daunting, but we're committed to making this a reality. This person's path to Beth David started in June with an interaction at the Narberth Pride in the Park Festival. A recent transplant from Center City, they were looking for a Reform synagogue where nuanced conversations about Israel were the norm, something they found lacking in their current synagogue situation. And they followed up with hard questions of our clergy, who were generous with their time and thoughtful in their responses. There's a happy outcome. At the Erev Rosh Hashanah concert last week, I learned from another conversation with this individual that, along with their 4-year-old son, they had become regulars at Tat Shabbats and are planning to officially join the congregation, maybe even with their parents, who have also relocated to the area. Fifth and final story, and this one will be familiar to many of you. It comes from the Spring Fundraiser in May, a tribute to facilities manager Tony Artis for his 13 years of service to Beth David. So of course, we held an honorary bar mitzvah. Imagine attendees joining hands for a Horus circle dance, singing Mayim, 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 while Tony, in a tuxedo, is lifted in a chair by congregants and members of the University of Pennsylvania's Jewish a cappella group, the Shabbatones, after they had given a concert in this very sanctuary. Nothing could have better conveyed a sense of Jewish joy, a feeling that is undeniably at the heart of Beth David. What can we all do to maintain it? First, it's okay to ask yourself, what is important to me? What do I want to get out of my being affiliated with this synagogue? Then try to picture Beth David as a cornerstone of your life, that by upholding your personal and our collective values, the strength, health, and longevity of our congregation are assured. Now more than ever, your commitment matters. Please make it a priority. Ways to get involved include participating in a Shema group, being a class parent, coming to services, raising your hand to work on a program, serving in a leadership capacity, and yes, supporting the temple financially through generous giving. Our membership dues, while philanthropy unto themselves, simply do not cover our annual operating costs. Last year, so many of you stepped up financially that we were able to reduce the deficit from the projected $122,000 to $12,000, despite large increases in our operating expenses, including energy use. Thank you so much. While there are multiple opportunities for contributions throughout the year, including designated gifts to mark special occasions, an ongoing campaign to help us fully realize the installation of our outdoor landscape, and not one, but 2 celebratory events honoring Executive Director Jill Cooper in November. Jill will be retiring at the end of the year, and Cantor Goodlev in May for her 10 years. April. Didn't check the calendar. So many things going on. For 10 years of being our cantor and keeping me on track. We will also be focused on building an endowment for the temple through investments and planned giving. However, if this Yom Kippur appeal is successful, it quite frankly allows your board of trustees, and that includes me, to move forward through the fiscal year with considerably less stress about finances. The mechanics are easy and can be found in your program. You've got online choices, QR codes, and also, if you like an old school approach, please retrieve your pledge card on the way out. If you prefer to make a gift later in the fiscal year, it's really very helpful if you can let us know now so we can plan accordingly. I'm deeply appreciative for your supporting this congregation, however and whenever you choose. I have one more request. One of our primary goals for the year is to focus on being consistently and explicitly relational so that we may approach every encounter at Beth David as an opportunity to connect personally and on a deeper level. Accomplishing this depends on all of us, from newbies to long-timers. I said old-timers, I meant long-timers, really. Maybe you've come not knowing exactly what you're looking for, other than satisfying a need to be part of an established Jewish community that's the right fit for your values and beliefs. To everyone here today and in the months to come, I encourage you to reach out to others you don't know, find out what brought them here, and invite them to join you in an aspect of synagogue life which you find fulfilling. While you're at it, reach out to people you do know and encourage them to consider making Beth David their spiritual home. No form of publicity beats word of mouth. And even if you don't feel comfortable, try asserting yourself. A simple greeting can go a long way in helping everyone feel mutually welcomed and included. What are the stories we'll share about Beth David next year? Well, I won't be the one telling them from the Bima. I project that mine will include the completion of the outdoor nature play space and maybe even the start of a preschool. In the meantime, why not tell me your stories? I'd be delighted to listen. Take me up on the offer to have Java with Jane. There are several wonderful coffee places in my hometown of Havertown. Just email me after the holidays and I'll put it on my calendar. I wish you a happy and healthy new year. When we return for next year's High Holy Days, may we find a world reborn filled with hope, renewal, and with peace. Gamar Chatima Tova, may we all be sealed in the book of life.